Hey everyone, my name is Caleb, and today we're going to be talking about my 10 top anticipated movies of the year. It is a new year, 2025, which means there's a whole new year for movies. And so with that, I compiled the ones I'm most excited for, put them in a list, and it was a very, very difficult list to put together. And so with that, I came out with my own opinion. I want to hear your opinion down below with your top 10 most anticipated movies down in the comments below. And as well, if you feel like it, like and subscribe, please. It would mean a lot to me. But with that, let's go ahead and get to number 10. Bringing us to number 10, it is Saw 11. Saw 11 will be following up what we know as Saw X, which is the 10th film in the franchise. And that actually brought us back to John Kramer. John Kramer was the original Jigsaw. And so what this franchise has done over time is they've gotten farther and farther away from John Kramer. And so Saw X was really nice and refreshing for bringing it back to the original and actually explaining why he does things to the certain people he does it to, torturing or killing them. In Saw X, they've really put him in a new light, and I've really respected that. And so that's why I'm really happy for Saw 11 to do the same thing. And so Saw 11 will be focused on hopefully more of John Kramer. It's not confirmed yet. There's actually been a lot of things behind the scenes. This original Saw X director, who is supposed to be directing this one, has actually posted cryptic photo online about the last shot of Saw X, the last part of the scene where he's walking out of the house with the kid and Amanda. And so he actually posted that to his Twitter not saying a single thing. And it was very cryptic. And so many fans are wondering if he's actually going to follow through with it. Is he actually going to do Saw 11, or is there a struggle behind the scenes or whatnot? So the chances are it may actually get delayed, because we've also not heard any news for the past year. And so with that, it has to be at number 10. I wish I could put it higher. If we had more information, I definitely would. But this is Saw 11. It's still projected to come out this year. That's why it's on the list. And I hope it does, because I can't wait for the new mind traps John Kramer puts everyone in. All right, at number 9, Novocaine. Novocaine is a film that comes out on March 14th this year. And it actually has starring Jack Quaid in it. Jack Quaid is from The Boys. He's also from the Scream 5, and I actually love Scream 5. And so he's in this one. We have Jacob Batalon, who's from the Spider-Man movies, or if you've seen Terriot, he's from Terriot as well. But he's the guy that plays Ned in Spider-Man. And then we also have someone that I really don't know is Amber Midthunder, and Amber Midthunder is actually Jack Quaid's love interest in the film. And so what happens with the plot? Why am I so interested in it? Well, Jack Quaid, his character, has a disability where he cannot feel pain. And usually you would think feeling pain is a good thing. However, if you get attacked or shot, you don't know if you're hurting or not. And so what makes this so interesting is that actually his girlfriend gets kidnapped. And so he has to go on an adventure to find her and take down her kidnappers. And so this looks really fun and interesting with all the things that they've done with it. There's a scene in the trailer where Jack Quaid puts his hand in deep fry to pull out a gun, shoots a guy in the head. So crazy, so gnarly. I can't wait for it. I will be out there on opening day on March 14th. And I hope you guys put this on your watch list as well. All right, coming in at number 8 is Mickey 17. Mickey 17 is the most recent Bong Joon-ho film, which if you guys don't know, he actually did The Parasite in 2019, which is one of the craziest movies I've watched, one of the best movies I've watched in the past couple years. And then he also did Snowpiercer with Chris Evans back in the day, which takes place in the future. This film actually does deal with has Robert Pattinson in the cast, which is a huge win. I really appreciated his work after The Batman, like most people. And so with that, Robert Pattinson actually plays a clone in this film. After multiple variations keep on dying and dying and dying, there actually ends up getting to 17 different clones, but the huge problem comes when his clones meet each other. And so that's a big no-no, which means this film is going to have a lot of chaos. They also have some really good supporting actors in this film, like Steven Yeun. One of my favorite characters he's played is Mark from Invincible, or Glenn from The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead is one of my biggest guilty pleasure shows ever. And so he is in this one, which I really appreciate. Another actor in this list is actually Mark Ruffalo. He's in this film. The movie does look more comedic than I thought it would, which is going to be really interesting to watch, but I won't let that tanker my experience. I hope that actually elevates my experience. it seems more wacky than what I would expect from a movie like this. So I think it'll help actually elevate the movie itself. The part where I'm actually somewhat nervous about this is that if you guys don't follow movie news, is that this movie is actually supposed to release a couple years ago or last year or something like that. I forget what was the actual date, but it got pushed back a year till April of this year. But then actually Sinners, the movie I previously just talked about, actually swapped places. And so now this is a month earlier. So this movie's just had a lot of conflicting different release dates, and so I'm kind of nervous on what that actually means for the film. I won't let this tinker my experience with it, but I am just slightly cautious. But I can't wait to see what Bong Joon-ho does in this next movie, and I hope it'll be something that we can all talk about.
Coming in at number 7 is Sinners.
Sinners, directed by Ryan Coogler. He's done the Black Panther films as well as the first Creed film, and honestly, I'm going to be completely honest here. I'm not a huge fan of his work. I appreciate it. I'm not a huge fan. Black Panther and Black Panther 2 aren't the films I love the most, but I do appreciate him as a director and what he's done with all of his films that he has done. And that's why I'm actually really excited for this one. This one, Sinners, is starring Michael B. Jordan. And Michael B. Jordan is in it playing twins. Following Michael B. Jordan is Haley Steinfeld. She's in this one as well. She plays, if you don't know, she's in the Pitch Perfect movies. She's Spider-Gwen in the animated Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse movie. And she's in the Bumblebee of 2018. So she's in a lot of things. And what this plot follows is two brothers, but one's actually a vampire, and it follows the vampires taking down the KKK. I mean, I got to get behind that. We don't like the KKK here. So let's watch it. I can't wait to see Ryan Coogler do what he does. And I really appreciate his work again, even though I'm not a huge fan of his movies. I do enjoy them for the most part. And so I'm ready to see what he does with Sinners. Coming at number 6 is Wicked for Good. And actually, this movie I walked into thinking it was going to be one of the worst movies of last year. I'm not a musical guy at all. If you really know me, I barely watch musicals. I watch the biggest ones that everyone talks about just because I want to be in the know. But most of the time, I don't watch musicals. And so this one, I was pleasantly surprised with when I walked in there and saw the whole world building, the physical sets that they built. They built a whole world that actually felt lived in, and I really appreciated that. Along with the talent and the star power, both the main characters, Glinda and Elphaba, were portrayed very, very well with their actresses playing them. And the director is coming back. They've actually already filmed the second part, and so this movie I'm very excited for to see the conclusion, because I actually have not seen the end of the show or the end of the musical, and so this will be my first experience watching the end of it. And so with that, I'm actually very ecstatic for this film. Coming in at number 5, Jurassic World Rebirth. And I know it should not be this high on this list, but this is my list, and this is why I am most looking forward to this one. It's actually directed by Gareth Edwards, who actually worked on the first couple Jurassic Park films. And these ideas that the team has come up with was actually rushed into production. And so what I think is happening here is that they actually have a really good script, and so I'm hoping this carries over. They actually also have Scarlett Johansson on, and they also have Mahershala Ali. Mahershala Ali, I can't wait to see back on the big screen after he's been done dirty with Blade the past couple of years. I hope that movie still comes out eventually, but until then, this is a great Mahershala Ali ticket for him, and a perfect way for him to get representation in the films again, because he's been done so dirty. And so I hope this movie actually returns to the grandiose scale that we've actually seen. This comes out on July 26th of this year. And again, I hope that they can pull this off, because if not, I will be a very, 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 very disappointed guy. Coming in at number 4, Avatar: Fire and Ash. And I'm going to be the first to say, I don't love the Avatar movies like some people do, but I do really appreciate the first one. And the second one, I really enjoyed out of nowhere. I didn't love the first one, so I went into the second one thinking it wasn't going to be amazing, but I didn't think it was going to be bad. But it blew me away with the story. And so actually, I'm really excited for this new one. This new one, we're actually going to be meeting Fire Navi. The Fire Navi is a different subgroup, just like what they found in the Ways of Water. There's a water group. And so we're actually going to be learning a lot more about the different cultures and things like that. And James Cameron has done it in the past. If you guys don't know who James Cameron is, he's actually the director of the Titanic and the other Avatar movies, but also Terminator Judgment Day, which is supposed to be everyone's favorite of the Terminator films. And so I was really bought over by Avatar 2, and so I want to see how Avatar 3 goes. It doesn't come out until December this year, so we still got a ways away. It might not even come out this year, depending on how all the processes for the CGI and everything goes. But until then, new technology, it's 2025, so since the last one, we've had a couple of years to work on new things and use the new technology. And so I'm ready to see the bigger and better scales that James Cameron can do. Coming in at number 3 is Thunderbolts. And Thunderbolts was also not one of my most anticipated movies until the trailer came out. And so the trailer really won me over. And essentially, this was directed by the same guy who directed the 6 episodes of Beef, which I feel like was a really good show to really display hatred among each other, which sounds weird for a Marvel movies, but I think what they're trying to do is bring all these different types of characters together, like Sebastian Stan and Red Guardian, and merging them into one team. And I think they'll all hate each other and then end up liking each other, like what they did in the show Beef. And so this is actually going to be one of my most anticipated movies. Another thing with this is that it's actually starring Yelena Belova, Florence Pugh. And Florence Pugh has really made a good name for herself the past couple of years. And I'm really excited to see how she plays as the leader of the Thunderbolts. And then further on, all the internet nerds like myself are speculating online that this is actually going to be retitled to Dark Avengers, or they're going to be rebranded as Dark Avengers. So they'll be our brand new Avengers as they go into Avengers Doomsday, which will be really interesting to see. But I'm here for it if they have a good story. And I think that with this one and the trailers, I think they do. And so that's why it's at number 3 for most anticipated of this year. Coming in at number 2 is actually Fantastic Four First Steps. Fantastic Four First Steps takes place on a different universe, and it has more of a retro futuristic vibe. And I think the director of this film is actually going to be very, very useful in this part, where he's actually the director of WandaVision. And so he's already had practice with Marvel and these retro vibes and things like that. And with that, I believe that he'll do a really good job portraying and building out the world that we'll end up seeing. And their cast is also really good. We have Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic, Vanessa Kirby as Invisible Woman, Ebon Moss as The Thing, and then Joseph Quinn as the Human Torch. Those 4 aren't necessarily the people I would cast as the Fantastic Four, but I think Marvel has taken enough care and time into this decision that I will trust them with this. Actually, Ebon Moss, I really do like off of the Punisher and also off of the Bear. He's done really well, so I'm actually really happy he's getting more big on-screen presence. Joseph Quinn, we've seen from Stranger Things, and he's done really well. He's also been in The Quiet Place, and I'm really excited to see what he does with this. I don't necessarily take him as the Johnny Storm type, so I'm really hoping that he builds into a different character here and portrays him differently. Vanessa Kirby, I really think she'll do well in this one. I really have high hopes for her. I think she'll be the best Invisible Woman we've had. And then Pedro Pascal, he's the one I'm most cautious about. I do love Pedro Pascal as an actor. Mando, Joel from The Last of Us, all these other films he's been in, but he's not technically my first pick for Reed Richards. And so I'm actually really interested to see what he has in store for us. The Fantastic Four is actually going to face Galactus this time, but not as a cloud. And so that'll be really cool to see Galactus visually like he was supposed to be seen years ago. And I actually think he's actually going to end up winning like Thanos did in Infinity War. I think he's going to end up eating the planet, where the Fantastic Four is going to hop over to the MCU. Meanwhile, Doctor Doom does the same thing, and I think this Doctor Doom will be the same one as we're going to see in Doomsday, portrayed by Robert Downey Jr. And so overall, this movie has a lot of weight on its shoulders, but I think it will be able to carry it. I think this will be a really good film for Marvel, and a really I think they'll really smash it out of the park this summer with this film. And so that's why it comes in at number 2. Coming in at number 1 is James Gunn's Superman. And I'm really, 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 really excited for this. James Gunn has done beautiful work in the past, and I believe he'll do great work on this. He's taken really to heart the Christopher Reeve's story and the iconic Superman symbol. And so he's actually merging all these as well as other heroes we've not heard of. So I feel like he's really taking care of all these characters that have not been given the best of light the past couple of years. And he's actually building out this universe. This trailer itself, the cinematic shots are amazing. And I really can't wait to see David Cornsweet live. I could go on and on about this movie, but I don't want to bore you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. And again, if you feel free, please click the subscribe button and then press that like button. That'll help me out a lot. And I will see you guys later. Take care.